my mom used to go on my Instagram all the time when she saw it. Because people would ask me, what brush do you use? And she'd be like,
yeah.
Do these people not?
Yeah.
Mom, chill. That's how like, I can't do this. I can't do that.
Hey guys, this is Whyt Manga here on the Saturday AM channel. I'm here with a special guest. You know him as Koteriink. He's a phenomenal artist. So check his stuff out on IG. You can do so as well. So dope. He's the creator of a series called Kings of Nowhere. What's up?
What's up? You just call me Roosh.
Where does the name come from, Koteri?
Koteri, I came up with a group of friends like years ago, and it just means a group of people coming together for one common purpose. My name really makes no sense. It's supposed to be like a group effort.
Okay.
But it just stuck, and I was like, all right, I'm Koteriink as in incorporated. So it's supposed to be like
ink, and then you draw ink. Okay,
yeah,
I like that.
Roosh. Like if you want, like just go by Roosh.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, at the end of the day, you have like you have a strong following, so in a way, it's kind of like a group of people with a similar effort as well. So, can you tell us a little bit about Kings of Nowhere and how that came about? Because I know I remember seeing you a couple years ago with a Kickstarter. How did all that come about, and what came of it?
All right, so Kings of Nowhere, like if you go way back to what inspired it, it was I think I was 11 and 12. Just got a PlayStation 2. And I would go to Toys R Us and I wouldn't buy the games. I just liked looking at the games. My mom was taking me and I like made a side glance and I saw Bloody Roar. And
I remember that. And
I was like, oh. So I went home and I just looked up Bloody Roar and I was like, dude, this is so sick. Like guys fighting and turning into animals mid-fight. And then, so I got the game. I got so interested and I got so hooked. When I was 12, I made a portfolio and I sent it to Konami so I could be one of the artists for the next, like Bloody Roar 5.
Bloody Roar, yeah.
Yeah, but then that series ended. Like the company Hudson that was making it, they just went bust. They weren't making anything. So then I was like, dude, I want to have that feeling again. So I started working on characters, and initially it was just me and my friends. I would just draw ourselves as like different animals, mostly monkeys, because we were doing parkour at the time, climbing stuff. Monkeys is, the thing that I can relate to the most. And then, just building these characters, and then very slowly introducing a story behind these characters. And I would write a lot. It's pretty doo-doo at the front in the start. Like the premise was kind of there. Eventually, like before I made Kings of Nowhere Volume 1. So this one here.
Love the cover, by the way.
Thanks, man. It was not like Volume 2 was supposed to be Volume 1. I wanted to just go into like that, but I realized I was like, I've been working on it for so long, and I started like when I was like 15, and I was 23 or 22 at the time. I was like, it's kind of trash. Like, I was like, I know the main villain. So let me tell the story of the main villain first, and let me create it when I'm like 22, 23, because I've matured a bit. I can tell a better story. So then I made Volume 1, which was not even supposed to be. It was like not even in the works. I just kind of like the whim came up with it, and then people liked it. And then, so whatever I wrote for like the past 5 years for the main character, which was supposed to be Base and the other crew. I just scrapped it all up. Like I just threw it away. And I started fresh again, I think last year, but I had the premise, I had the villains, I had like this whole dynamic built up, and all this little stuff that goes along with it. That's how it started. And where does that?
That's cool. It's funny. I didn't draw the connection to it like Bloody Roar. Now you mentioned Bloody Roar makes so much sense. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I remember playing the game. I can't remember a lot of names, but I remember like a Yugo and an Alice.
Gato the lion.
Yeah, I have fun with those games.
Have you seen my animation? That 1 minute animation?
For the Kickstarter.
No, I have a 1 minute animation. I went to Sheridan College for animation, so you have to make a thesis, and your thesis film is a 1 minute animation. It's what you use to like get jobs, stuff like that.
Is it the one where the guy kind of hops out of the car and then beats a couple people? Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen that.
At the end, he transforms into a lion.
Yeah.
Out of the lion, and I was like, I gave him his like the military outfit and all that.
Yeah, that's cool. The animation was also dope. Did you some like the characters were making some sounds? Was that you?
No, I think it was done by me, but I realized when I got to the sound part, I was like, I need a team. I have no idea. Sound, this one sound when like
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in for this. And my video got demonetized because I just used some music off some dude.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I just want people to see it. That's all. I was like, as long as you enjoy watching it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's fine because some of the sound stuff. I'm trying to do something for some of the things with my series, and we're hiring. Like I got some voice actors. In fact, I just hired some today to do like a motion comic thing. Like doing the whole voice acting thing and just creating sound, doing like sound design and all of that. I'm just gonna get somebody else to do. Yeah, because there are probably people who are specialized in that and they're better. So, I saw
I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'm thinking myself out. I'm not gonna try this.
Nah, I'm not. I like same here. So, but the animation looked really good too. So it's good for like a one man army thing.
I burnt out like hard.
How long did it take you?
8 months, 7 days a week, 10 a.m. wake up, go to sleep at 10 p.m. Because the backgrounds I had to paint, the whole thing was 3-4 minutes. So I painted backgrounds for scenes that you don't see. So I was like, I'm going to run out of time. So I started it. Yeah. I got to the 1 minute mark and I deleted a lot of stuff there's like stuff that you guys see, but I worked months on. I had to scrap it because
makes sense.
Some of the animation is just straight ahead animation. There's no roughs, there's no keyframes. I was just like, I gotta get this done. So like some of the
it's like tweets and shit.
Yeah, I just had to do it. You see it's kind of rough. It killed me, man. And I think I took like there's a month before the due date. I just burnt out like 2 weeks. I just took off. I'm like, I'm done, man. If it's crap, it's crap. And then I was like, you know what? I gotta make this kind of work. So I ended up making it like a 1 minute report.
I think I looked at it. I think you made it. I think you made it work. What about the Kickstarter? You say the response was like really good, right?
Yeah. So I started like after college. I worked as a concept artist, storyboard artist, animator at a very small studio in Toronto. And there I was like, yo, I want to do Kings of Nowhere. Like, I wanted to figure out how to do it. So when we did eventually quit our jobs, the first thing I did was go my Instagram. And then for for about almost a year, my entire, it was just doing commissions on the side, trying to stay afloat, not go negative in my bank account. And then once I felt like I had enough of the book, right? Like I had half of the book and amassed a small following. I was like, all right, I got to do this Kickstarter. And I had maybe 30K followers, and that was enough to actually get people give me a positive response. And I got the book out, and I was like, finally, I don't need to rely only on commissions now. I can actually just focus on my book.
That was good. So the Kickstarter was to fund the book you just held, right? It was to fund that.
It was fun. I finished half of it, and then I was like, "There's no way I can't keep myself financially like this. I need a Kickstarter now." So my girlfriend, she's like the branding whiz. She's like, "I got you." But I got you.
Yeah,
she's pretty big on Instagram, bigger than me. She's always been bigger than me. So I always was learning from her, okay, how to do things.
That's dope.
Took care of my Kickstarter, and she's pretty much the reason this book came out.
So that's cool. I did not know that at all. I'm sure most people didn't know that, which is great because this whole thing is kind of these videos are one kind of just a chill shooting, just chatting, having a fun time, but also if it can be almost like a one-stop shop to learn anything about you that you're fans, because now you have way more than 30K on IG. You're doing much better. Just a little bit, right? You know, so you do much better now. So I'm sure you get like crazy questions and like a lot of sometimes the same questions.
Oh yeah, that's my mom used to go on my Instagram all the time when she saw because people would ask me what brush do you use, and she'd be like,
yeah,
do these people not?
Yeah,
mom chill. That's how. Like, I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm like, just get off my Instagram. She would know what my following was, and I wouldn't. She'd be like,
yeah,
you're at 367,000. I was like, how do you know that? Like,
she's proud of you, man. She's proud of you, man. She's happy. She's happy for you. She's happy for you. Yeah, so sometimes you would like. I've been making videos for a while now, right? And every once in a while, every video, I make sure to say it in every video. That, the book is the link is in the description. This, da. But every time somebody in the comments is going, "Hey man, do you have a comic?" I'm like, what?
I would like literally post comic pages on my Instagram. Like it's like dialogue. It's like you can tell it's in the middle of an action scene, right?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, do you have a comic? Like what? Do a comic.
That's the worst. So it's like, yo, man, I got a great idea for you. Do a comic. I'll totally read it. I'm like, what? Where have you been? There's a whole 2 volumes out there, hundreds of pages.
I know.
But definitely that's the internet. You know? That's the internet. That's how they do things. So right now, even the book you produced, where like I'm sure you get that question, right? Like where people can get the book.
Yeah. So
how about we address that?
No, the book is on Koteriink.com. That's
Koteriink.com.
Nowhere else. If expos start up, then I'll have my book at expos. But just my luck, I got the book out. I was like, yo, I'm going to be doing expos now, because before I would just be selling.
Expos are gone. Expos are gone.
I was like, yo, I'm finally going to get a book out. I'm going to be one of those guys. Because you go to expos, you publish books. Like, I'm going to be one of you. And then, like,
no more expos, no more at least for now. How's that? Like, how is the whole pandemic thing kind of affected you, except for, is it just like expos and cons and just going out and as an artist? Has it affected in any other way?
I'm pretty ambivert of a person. Like most of the time, like I can go a week without seeing anyone. Like before I had my girlfriend, I'd be totally content just drawing and not seeing a single soul aside from my mom coming in, bringing some food, some fruits, Persian style. But like if people want to chill, I'm always down to chill. So when the pandemic happened, I was like, another day.
100%. Like nothing really changed except when you go out, when you wear a mask, I guess. You know what I mean?
Wear a mask, yeah.
And
I lived in downtown, and then once this happened, I was like, yo, I'm out. I'm dipping. No more downtown for me. I can't live in the suburbs.
Yeah.
I don't have to have that. Like I'd be in the elevator and I'd have this like I can feel my anxiety just go, eek. I was like,
because it's like
the elevator, and I'd be like, yo, man, not the time. Just hold the cough in.
Yeah. I don't like. I think I was in the store yesterday, and the store was empty. But as soon as I got into the store, like six different people, not even like the same crew, but like 6 different people just kind of like walked in, and you stand in the clerk, and there's like a lot. It would just surround them, and they were kind of old. I couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. As soon as I got my thing, peace out. Usually, like I go to the store a lot, so sometimes I'll like talk to the clerk a little bit. As soon as I got my stuff, out. Peace. Out. Yeah, exactly. So, I'm not. Nothing's really changed. And I think that's like one of the perks of being an artist. And also kind of having an online hustle to a degree, right? That's kind of doing okay.
Very thankful. So being able to do this online thing, I'm always thankful. It's hard, but you're like, I can't complain. Like,
it feels so lucky. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Very fulfilling.
You're kind of your own boss. You
know
what I mean? So,
the numbers on Instagram or YouTube, and like it's like a video game. You're just trying to collect points. So it's like, okay, what do I do to collect more point. I just see the numbers going up. Like sometimes you're like, honestly, sometimes I'm like, dude, how do hundreds of thousands of people follow me? Like, why do you follow me? Like, I think that. I'm like, because I only talk to just a handful of them. So
yeah.
just
dude, your art's dope, and the videos also were great. Like you did those videos that I used to. There was a time, right, in school, like in class, I always kind of like doodled on my notes, right? Yeah. It could be a biology class, and somehow I could literally be like, following the teacher, taking notes, and all of a sudden I'm drawing Naruto on the side. Like that happened. Yeah, that happened a lot. But where was I going with this? But yeah, drawing just drawing straight with a pen. And I saw some of your quick videos where you wouldn't have like the pencils. You almost like go straight with ink, right?
Yeah, I used to I didn't know there was another way, because before I didn't have artist friends growing up. I just
same.
You don't know the right answer is what's wrong. And then I went to animation college, and I would do my life drawings just like, I just print out what I see. Sometimes it's wrong. Most of the time it was wrong back then. My teacher would be like, yo, there's another way of doing it. You can use a rough layer. I'm like, what's a rough layer? He's like,
yeah, it's kind of like a first step where you go with pencil. But for that time, like when I saw your video, it just reminded me, because it was a similar situation. I didn't have any friends that were even into anime and manga or anything like that. So definitely not into drawing. They knew I could draw, and you get the typical, hey, draw me here and there, blah blah blah. Yes. But like I would draw straight with just like a ballpoint pen.
Yeah.
Just drawing.
You're just like, if I make a mistake, I'll just draw on it. I'll just draw it, do it again.
And the thing is, it was cool because sometimes, I don't know, it's like a ballpoint pen thing, but just usually with pens, even when I make a mistake, there's a way you can kind of just finesse it to make it work.
I like it the most because you can imitate a pencil. You can do really well. And with this it's just so much fun. You can smudge it. My hands are sweaty 24/7. So
yeah. So, but I saw your stuff. I saw the stuff where you go straight with the pen, and it's really good, bro. And if you get like your level type of good, you save a hell lot of time making comics. Like if you could do it with comics.
There's some pages like I got to a point where I was like in this book, and I was like, bro, I want to save some time. So let me find that page for you right here. Like this page here. Yeah. I was like, screw roughs. And I just went like straight up. I was like, I saved half, so much time. But here's the thing with doing rough work, like doing straight ahead. Yeah. You don't get that cleanliness. Like as much as Kim Jong-gi is killing it. But he has
he does it too. That dude's a genius.
You have to keep it a little rough because it's like it's still coming out. Like you'll see overlapping of lines here and there. Yeah. But when I'm doing my comic now with this new volume, I want it to be perfect. I want like a Boichi level of cleanliness.
You're calling some G's right here. Some geniuses.
Yeah. So my roughs for the new book are pretty clean. Like I just go into like quick and easy, get them down. But then once I go into like the ink layer, I spend the entire day on a page just doing inks. Not even screen. I don't have.
Yeah, so and I see you. Obviously, you have. I don't know if you're doing it for the new books, right? Because that's the Kickstarter one, right? But that one was colored pages. Is the new book going to
pages? But that's why it's only 80 pages long. It took me 2 years. So in a year, I've been working on the second volume. I've already done 160 pages in less than a year. So it's like, it's a lot more time. Like it saves a lot of time when you're not using color and you're just doing black and white. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like if I look at my collection of books, I have one colored comic, Black Sad. Everything else, manga. I just like if I like this and I know that there's a huge audience for it, why put so much work into doing colored versions when it's going to take me like an extra 2-3 years? And the goal isn't just to do this. I want to have an anime, probably like you.
Yeah. And you want to
get the idea, the concept out, and then move on to the next stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get this story out there, right? And as long as the artwork is still tip top, then you're good, right? For me, doing Apple Black or Picasso, when I'm creating it, obviously I'm creating it with that grayscale approach, right?
Exactly.
But every once in a while, you can do a special, maybe one double the spread.
Color.
Yeah, maybe one page would be in color or stuff like that. But
Can
one thing I'm
questions here.
What?
Can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm very curious. How did you? Sorry, how did you start up with Apple Black? Like, what was the inspiration for that?
Initially, it was kind of like you in a sense, like getting into anime and all that. I didn't even know what it was called, but it was also video games. But it was Street Fighter, right? I just liked that the battle energy of the whole thing, right? Yeah. And the art style, the artwork, and all that. And then I got more into comics, even the Western stuff, Spider-Man, all that kind of Wolverine, X-Men, Superman, you name it. You name it. If I could get my hands on it, I would. Because growing up, I lived in Nigeria, and we.
What was here? When did you move to Texas?
I moved to Texas in 2009.
Oh,
and before that. 98% of my life was in Nigeria, right? Yeah. And back in the day, we had like a lot of light, electricity, blackout issues, right? Yeah. So it was very easy. You could be playing a video game and everything could just turn off. Yeah. Like it was like here in the States, if that happens, something's off. Something's wrong. Here, if your internet even gets a little shaky, you're like you're about to call it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But in Nigeria, that happens. Is like, oh, okay, this is life. This is and especially playing video games. Like, let's say oh my god, I remember playing like Metal Gear. Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with Metal, but Konami, you're familiar with Metal Gear, right?
Yeah. Snake.
Yeah. I was playing Metal Gear on PlayStation, Sons of Liberty Part 2, all right? And PlayStation 2 is huge. And again, you're in, like I said, Nigeria, we don't have that many, for me at least, right? Except for maybe playing soccer with friends, but where I lived, I wasn't close close to my friends, right? I could only see my friends mostly in school. And electricity was still an issue there. So they got entertainment from me drawing, right? Looking at my drawing. So it was easy to get bored, but it was also easy. It was also easy for me to make friends because once one person learned I could draw, that was it, right? Yeah. I was popular just off of that. That was my thing. I was known for that. I was known for like liking Eminem, but bottom line, it was easy to get bored, right? And so video games, TV, when there was electricity, when there was energy, it was a big deal. So I remember playing Metal Gear Solid and going really far. Like you would have to beat the game in a day if you don't have a memory card. And I remember I didn't have a memory card. Dude, I went so far in the game and everything just went. I was like, no. Imagine, right? And a game like that's really difficult. That's a difficult stealth patient game. So I was really into video games. I was really into anime, and like I started get into all that stuff. I always, because I could draw, and again, the reason I started drawing was because again, it was a way to entertain myself, right? Yeah. If I was playing the game and there wasn't energy, I would draw, I would draw it. You know what I mean? And I could look at the cartridge and look at the nice, cool Street Fighter Capcom images. And, all the characters, all dynamic. It was amazing, right? And so I would use it to learn to draw. If I could get my hands on a comic, the same deal. So I started learning to draw. So in my circle, I was kind of like a quote unquote good artist. I was trash, but like
we were all we're
I was trash, right? But to everybody else, I was like, I could walk on water, you know what I mean? Exactly. But so I knew part of me always wanted to do something in comics. But again, growing in Nigeria, it wasn't a really realistic career path. You know what I mean? So back in my head, I was always kind of fighting it. But I always wanted to do
It's interesting. You're from Nigeria. A lot of the fans I have are Nigerian. It's weird. And they're like,
really?
They're into comics. And I'm like,
I'm seeing that. Yeah, I'm seeing that now.
he's 17. I talk to him like almost every other day. And he schools me on anime. He's like, yo, you should watch One Piece. You don't even understand One Piece. Do you know so much about any anime I talk about? These guys know it. And I'm like,
I'm happy because when I was there, not so much. Not the quote unquote nerds and geeks were not that many, right? But I'm happy that I'm happy it's expanding. So I'm happy things are maybe getting better in that area. So I always knew I wanted to do comics, but there just wasn't a path, right? It was only until I only started taking it seriously once I really got into Bleach and Naruto and the One Piece and all of that. Like I wasn't even into Dragon Ball because I couldn't watch it. I could only play the video game. So all my Dragon Ball knowledge is from the video game, right? And so that's why I thought maybe I could do it, but still a path to doing specifically manga, especially back a couple years ago, it wasn't a thing. Then YouTube happened. And then I started seeing creators on YouTube who like Mark Crilly, who was making videos and then also talking about his series. And I saw it as a way to build an audience, right? And then that's how I jumped into doing comics. Yeah. The Apple Black side of things came when I wanted to just putting your story together. In the beginning is always trash. In the beginning is always trash, but I just keep working. I've just kept on developing it over the years. I know I wanted to do something within the shonen realm, and there are more stuff I wanted to do. That's why I did Bakassi, right? Briefly, it's kind of on hiatus, but I have more stuff I want to do. But I definitely want to do shonen stuff like Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball, One Piece, all that. And so I started developing my own series, and then I'm also influenced by a lot of film, and I'm a sucker for twists at the end, right? And
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know if you watched that Quentin Tarantino movie.
What's it called?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a new one. Huge twist at the end. I was like, this movie's kind of dull, and then the end happens. You're like, top 5.
Okay. Yeah, Usual Suspects, Sixth Sense.
Did you watch Guy Ritchie movies?
I love Guy Ritchie movies. Snatch.
Yeah. All his definitely. The newer one's not so much. He did Aladdin now.
The newer ones not so much. The London gangster ones. Yes. Yeah.
Snatch, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels,
Rock and Rolla.
Yeah, those.
Rock and Rolla. Those. Love those. So I tried to incorporate all of that into Apple Black, and then there's like a pinch of evangelism in there, though I'm not that much of a religious person, so it's not preachy or anything like that. But just trying to touch on certain themes. That's kind of how it started. And I've just kind of kept developing it over time. As I grow as a person, so does the series. And so the last few years, I actually went back and remastered everything, right? Just kind of like you, how you realize I never thought it was trash, right? I was pretty happy with what I put together. But where we're headed, especially with Saturday AM, we want to be able to compete. And I just felt like, all right, if my book is going to be in stores right next to like a One Piece or a Naruto or stuff like that, I need to step it up. You know what I mean? I need to switch things. So I moved things around and remastered the art, the grammar, all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of like just a summary, long summary of how I got into it.
This is also a remastered version. The first one was a hardcover book. Like I went over and I redid the grammar, same as you. Like I think we all have that.
Yeah.
It's like if I can do it, I want to go back and change some stuff because time's passed. I'm better now. I understand.
I understand. Like you can't do it all the time. Like I don't think I'm going to do it again. I think I'm done. Right. But I wanted to make sure for people who are getting into the series, especially now that, like you were mentioning with the internet stuff, you're getting more people and more people. I want to make sure that the new people coming on board they're getting the best possible stuff that I could give them in the beginning to keep them hooked. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I completely understand it, but I also want to show growth. So I don't want to change too much. I just want to make sure it's not trash, that it's good.
That's all.
You know what I mean?
You see, that's all. If it's not good, it's good, we're good.
So how with your book, you're going to all your books, right? They're just going to be on you're going to publish them yourself. They're going to be on your site. That's the approach you want to take.
Yeah. So me and my girlfriend, she has her own store. She does everything in house. So she takes care of this. So I was like, all right, when I first got the books, I was like, I would package them here, and it's too much. It's just because you're trying to make new pages, manga pages, and all that.
Yeah.
Spend packaging them, but so I would print them Korea, and then I would keep them in a warehouse in the U.S. And then when you order it, they package it. So I was like, this is pretty easy. Like I was about to get signed with Dark Horse. They were gonna get like, I was gonna be like Kings of Nowhere was gonna be a Dark Horse like book.
Yeah.
And it was like I had the sheets. I had the agreement there. I was about to sign it, and then I took a couple of days. I was thinking about it, and I was like, can I just do this myself? Is there a way for me to do this myself? Like, it's not 2005. We have internet. There's a possibility.
Yeah.
And Dennis is always like, if you can do it yourself, you do it yourself. I was like, all right, I'll figure out how to do it myself. So I just looked around. I first printed locally, which you're trying to like support local businesses, right?
Too expensive.
Way too expensive. And they're like, like twice the price. It's like 3-4 times the price. I was like, I can't dish out this much money, bro.
Especially for a colored book.
Yeah, it was hitting like my yearly salary basically. So I wanted to look for someone that's not China because everybody's doing made in China. I was like, I still don't want to do that. I found a place in South Korea, pretty sick. They do wonderful work, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have all this, bring it to a fulfillment center, and then ship it out like that.
That's dope. That's because like you're right about the China thing, and I know Korea too. I know that's blowing, even with the webtoons, everything. Korea, everything, music, everything's blowing up. So I'll probably talk to you about that and see your experience with that. Sounds like it went smoothly.
Just want to.
Yeah. Have you ever like because for me, one of the other things, right, I've noticed with creating my series, and not just me, like everybody, even in the company, it's like to also truly compete and grow, right? It's not just the talent. It's not just, you need luck. You need some kind of luck too. And then
not already being hit. Like you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. You see it on Netflix, you see it a lot on Webtoons. You're like, okay, give me something new. I need something fresh.
Yeah, and one of the key things you also need is kind of consistency, right? And I've realized that I just take too much. Like I've done a lot of pages, right? Even though it's just 2 volumes, if people actually look at the page count, it's a lot, right? It's like 300
in total, no more probably.
It's more than that, right? It's over 500.
Yo,
right? It's over 500, but because it's just 2 books, and it's been a while since I released one, right? And I'm working on the 3rd one. It kind of gets that, but it seems like I haven't done much, right? But I still also understand that regardless of that, right, the big boys, they're tens of thousands of manga pages have been made, right? And so what I've done already, right, I just need to kind of kick it into gear, is I've looked into getting assistants, right? Yeah. And people who can ink like me, right, to where it's seamless and stuff like that. So to produce more content, you've already kind of gone from color down to, not necessarily down, you're doing something different, right, with grayscale. Have you considered like getting assistants ever? Like if that's something you could do?
Okay, the reason I even got into doing comic is because I'm very competitive, especially when it came to art. As a kid, I was like, I need to be better than that. I need to be better than that. And that was my mentality. And it's like,
I can tell.
Draw everything. Like, my new pages, they're a pain in the ass, man. Like, I'm doing full city. Like, even Katsuhiro Otomo for Akira, I just recently found out that he had assistants doing the buildings. Like, there's crazy buildings. And I was like, he had assistants. But I was like, I don't have assistants. And I really want to just get good. Like, this is the dream life. I'm doing what I want to be doing for the rest of my life, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, why not just have the passion for doing it? If anything, I was looking at maybe getting people to do screens for me, but even then, there's like figuring out how to apply screens in like like that, that upper echelon of skills, it takes a lot of effort. Like, I enjoy the whole process, and I kind of want it all for myself.
I was expecting that answer.
It's a lot of hatching, a lot of like subtleties, and it's like it's very hard to find people who have my style, this route.
But if you did find somebody though, that's my question. Like if you did find someone who was another Roosh, right? But maybe they also like you. you put them in a box. So, no, there can only be one.
Yeah, no, I mean, how do we draw the exact same?
Yeah,
my inspiration that led me to this point was like I can trace it. Like if I look back at my art, I can see every time someone new came into my life, and I grab their style, I grab this style, that style. It became very like when I look at my style, I'm like, oh, I can tell if I look at it for like 5 years ago, I can be like, I know exactly who I was inspired by to create that. Right now, mostly Boichi, and I would say out of all the shonen artists, Boichi is probably the best. Like he's not even Japanese, which is crazy, but like his level. Like when I looked at Sunken Rock, his
Sunken Rock is dope.
Story was okay, whatever. Right?
But the art.
You see the art, and then you look at some pages where like the guy's kicking. He writes Armani on the bottom of their shoes. Unprecedented. And he would for each book he would have like 10,000 photos. If someone was wearing Armani suits, he would buy Armani suits, have his assistants wear it, and then reference it, take photos of that.
I didn't know that.
Effort into it. Like if he was having a fight happen somewhere in Korea, he would fly to Korea, take photos there.
No way.
He put so much effort into the work, and I was like, that guy is definitely probably like top 3 artists.
Have you heard of Inoue?
I have his books, Vagabond.
Like, Vagabond.
Fantastic, but like I study their work, and I'm like, okay, it's great, but there's stuff like fabric he doesn't get correct to that. Like his faces, his hatching, brilliant. When he draws trees and like nature, I reference that. I'm like, I don't think I can draw nature like him. But there's certain things where I'm like, Boichi just,
I can agree with that. There are some top guys who the name leaves me right now, but I would throw like Berserk in there. I'll also throw when it comes to a more stylistic approach, but still like it's kind of like semi-realistic, but also very, very shonen and light. Right, would be Yusuke Murata. I think he's One Punch Man, Ice Shield 21.
Yeah,
dude's a genius. Dude's so people like him, Taikubo, and the mainstream typical ones. I like same as you. I can also tell when they came into my life. when you look at the work.
And I was like, all right, no underdrawings at all. I'm just doing freehand stuff from now on. But then you see stuff, you're like, okay, but your stuff's real sick too. Let me put those back in.
Yeah, student of the game, man. I get that. But for me, I'm more than the draw. Like I like the process of the drawing, and I'm also competitive. Like in just making comics, even making videos. Like I get that. But I think for me, top is just getting the story out there in a very enjoyable fashion where people are feeling whatever I want them to feel.
Not taking so long.
What?
Not taking so long to come out with books.
Yeah, and not taking so long, especially in my situation where, consistency is key. And so in order to be consistent, I want to get to a place where I'm releasing at least a book a year, right? And to do that alone, that means I have to do nothing else. No YouTube, no this, no that, no. So at some point, like I wanted to be able to like draw everything myself too. But at some point, even those top guys, all of them, they all have assistants. So it's like, you know what? Fine. I'll I'll diversify. I will do a little division of labor. So that's why I was just curious to. I had a feeling that would be your answer, but I was just curious to know if you had another Roosh or an almost like a baby Roosh. It's trying to be as good as Roosh. He wants to learn on the Roosh, but he has all the tools you have, all of that. You work digitally anyways, so you and like even the pandemic doesn't even stop the use of a system. So I was just curious if you could keep the quality, but put it out more. If you got help, would you do it?
The only person I would like be like, hey, can you work with me? Would be like Boichi.
Boichi be like, oh, you know what, Dr. Stone? Wait, hold up. Let me draw some monkeys real quick. I feel you. So, are those like your only like what other is that your? Have you like run through your inspirations, like people who made you Bloody Raw?
And Kim. Do you know he's one of the character design for the Boondocks?
The KSE
332.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one. Yeah.
He really got me into hatching. So like before I went to college, I was just like, all right, gotta get up to this guy's level. I'm still not at his level, but like,
yeah, he's another one. You see his he did like a recent illustration where he drew all these kind of like fighters and suits.
I think grow crazy fast on IG. I saw him go like 10K. I was like, what?
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, I expected him to be bigger already. So
he's bigger, bro. I don't know what it's about being Korean, but like literally, if you're Korean, I'm probably groveling at your feet. Like I just all Korean. I'm like, how are you guys so damn good?
Yeah, they are really good. They are really good. And he was always big on DeviantArt, and then IG became a thing.
He used to do Bruce Lee a lot,
Bruce Lee. He used to draw a lot of like real people's faces, but you could still see his style in there.
Well, his hatching is just so unique.
You could still see his style in there clearly, and you would easily recognize the character, no matter what he did. Like he could
stuff with pencil. I still like up to recently thought his stuff was pencil, even the older stuff. They're all Photoshop. I was like, how are you doing that with Photoshop? Like it just looks straight up pencil.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really cool. Any other IG people? I guess maybe one more. Throw one more name out there.
Boichi, Kim Jong-gi, we're out of Koreans. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, like there's people who follow Kim Jong-gi, who is like, you know, I can say like Peter Han style. He has a lot of Kim Jong-gi in there. But I mean, like, you can see the age in these people, like their wisdom. They've advanced. Like they're all like maybe 40s, like close to 50 years old. So you know, you can tell they've been in the game for a while.
Yeah. And you said that you went to Sheridan
College for animation.
Yeah. I've seen somebody drop that in a comment as well, because I recently dropped like a quick animation clips to your paint thing, and someone in the comments was like, oh, you know, this is great, it will help me with my Sheridan application. And that was the first time I ever heard of them. So what exactly is that?
It was like next to Cal Arts, maybe. It's huge for animation. Like a lot, like you go in there, chances are if you're good, you'll go to Pixar or Disney. It's really big, but over the years, you know, teachers leaving, a little more. You know, teachers can't be as like themselves as much. We lost a couple of teachers because they like to draw things that were a little more like, you know, risque or not politically correct. So people didn't start to like really gang up on them. And teachers like, F this, I'm out. I don't need you guys.
That was a thing? I didn't completely miss that.
Well, yeah, it was like, especially Toronto, it's been very, we lost some really good teachers. So the school itself, I don't know if it's still up to that quality that was like 10 years ago, maybe. But it's produced some really good students, like Bobby Chu. Bobby Chu is from Sheridan College.
Oh, I know him.
There's some good names out there. But you know, I got second year because I was like, what's an elective? like you're failing your elective, bro. You need to do elective. I think college, because I sucked at high school, I sucked at middle school, I was failing, but I'm good at one thing, and that's drawing. And now you want me to learn about 20th century Europe and like get at least 60 on that? Like in high school, I would be like, what do I need to get a 50? Which in Canada, 50 is to pass.
Yeah.
Okay, anything, I'll just put the bare minimum to get a 50 in these classes. So I can make sure my art is level.
So I'll take it that in general, you don't really like school.
I don't like school, but and that's why I actually my girlfriend wrote me a letter of admission, like appeasal. So like, and my mom was crying. We're Persian, right? In culture, university over life. If you don't go to university, you're nothing. So
I again, it's similar to what I was saying earlier. It's like in Nigeria, right? If comics, especially back then, was just not a thing. So like, what advice would you have for? Because I get this question a couple times, and maybe I'll make a video about it too. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. For someone like you, what are your thoughts on like art school? Because some people are confused, like, should they go to art school? And then there's the money side of things. It's like, what would you say?
Okay, so I'll look at it. Like, let's say in my school, we had maybe like 300 students get in, right? People who are like, I really want to get into animation. It's $40,000 for the full 4 years. Like, it's expensive. It's not cheap. But what I would say is, like, there's people who went there, let's say 90%, maybe 95% are doing, like making the bare minimum right now. They're not, like, some of them aren't even in art, right? Some of them are just doing nothing. So if you want to go into art school, it's good because if you're lucky and you happen to get teachers who are like the old teachers, like the 60, 70-year-old teachers, they're wise, they know their stuff. They'll help you. Like, they helped me a lot to figure out my life drawing, how to hatch, how to like really utilize the skills that I was trying to develop and use it to its full potential. But if you're not good and you're going to art school to get good, to be like a better artist, then it's not worth it. You need to be at a certain level. You need to already be confident enough before you even start thinking about art school as a path. Because it's not there to help you. It's not like, like I used to go to art classes on the weekends when I was 6. That's what you do to like level up, just to learn. But once you reach that, like, like when you play like a game and it's like, now you get to be in gold. Now you can, that's when you're at that level and people will start like, yo, you're really sick at art. Like, all right, I'll think about art school so I can get that competition from other artists. Because that was the thing, is you see other artists who are sick and you're like, yo, you're really good at this. And they'll be like, you're good at this. And then you start to figure it's
bond, like, Yeah, 100%. Art school is it's not something, I don't think it's something where you can go in 0 and come out 70, 75. You need to come in with something.
You don't do it looking for a job because they don't teach you anything about business. There's no business aspect to that. But once you leave, you need to have a business aspect. You need to think, how do I get more audience? Because art is just that. It's a visual thing. Like, if someone sees your art and is hooked immediately, that's a win, right? So figuring out, I would say they need more classes on how to utilize YouTube, how to utilize Instagram,
social and like the internet, dude. Because before the internet,
don't do that. They're like, I'm going to quit my job and go and create a book right now. I'm like, but if a tree falls in a forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Like, if you drop bombs, it doesn't make a difference. You can be Leonardo da Vinci level and nobody knows your name, so you're not going to get any sales. You're just going to be that homeless bum playing the drums.
The quote unquote starving artist. You know those really, really good homeless artists where somebody just walk by and they'll just like, maybe they're ambidextrous and they draw with both hands, but they're on the streets. But 100, like, I do think there needs to be like a class to give artists more of an entrepreneurship type mindset. Because before the internet, I understand, like, the hustle is real. You really needed to be lucky, right? Exactly. But once the internet dropped, like I said, once I saw that, oh, wait a minute, you can just, like, this guy can draw. He can draw better than me, but it's not that much better, right? and he just needed to be like, he was able to build an audience for what he's putting together.
Yeah.
And from my experience, especially when I was starting up in the beginning, nobody was checking out my stuff. But when I did get somebody to check it out, my conversion rate was, I thought, high. Mm-hmm. So all I needed to do was figure out a way to get in front of more eyes of people within that same audience, mindset, community, and stuff.
More eyes than pride.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah. I 100% get it. Like, art school for me, everything you say is right. I would say do it if you knew exactly what you want to get out of it, and if you're coming into it with something, right? Some kind of talent that can be.
When I went in Sheridan College, you have assignments every year. Like, basically it's trying, like, the first 3 years are to prepare you for your final year. Final year, just making that film. When I got to college, every assignment, if I could, I would make it Kings of Nowhere related. I would build my characters. Like, if there was a project, put 2 characters in a situation here, I would put characters that I was developing, writing a story at home, and I would bring it there. So when it was 4 years were up, I was like, I built so much because I came in there with a goal. It's like, I really want to make Kings of Nowhere a thing. So
yeah,
I'm going to use university to help me make this dream a reality. So
yeah, that makes sense. And
before you go into school,
know exactly what you want to kind of get out of it, and have a plan for the money and have a plan for after. Like, you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, you need money too. Like, we would do cons. Me and my girlfriend, we would do expos. Like, she paid off school after we finished it. She paid it off in a month because those expos she was just saving up those 4 years. They were making good money, but we were like, she got me into it. And when we were doing it first year and then second year, we would see like couple more students coming, seeing like we're doing it. And then by the 4th year, there'd be so many more students coming. But we've already figured out what fan art sells, League of Legends, Overwatch, like how to sell and all that, like what size, everything. We figured it out. But you need to be like going into the business of art as soon as you go into art college, because how do I get people's attention?
Is she an artist?
Jenna Sung? Yeah, she's got like 510,000 on Instagram.
I didn't know we had like a Instagram art power couple. Did not know that. What's her name?
Janice, Janice. She had like an Apple commercial earlier this year.
She's dope too.
She's a big role model.
yeah. I didn't know we have. Look at that, man! The community got a power couple. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We met each other in the first year of college, and then
that's what I was gonna ask. So you guys probably met in college.
We've been going for 7 years now, moving to 8. But we've been helping. Like, when we went to the same school, and then we went to the same co-op, and then we went to the same job. And we went to LA, and that's where I was like, I need to quit my job, because I was feeling guilt for not doing Kings of Nowhere. I was doing a 9 to 5. And then she's like, I'll quit with you. I was like, okay. First week we came back, we quit. And I had maybe like 200 followers on Instagram. I was like, okay, I need to figure out. My work was just Instagram.
So who, because now I'm looking at, I'm guessing you're thinking of expanding now, right? Because it's not just IG. I see you trying to creep into the YouTubes. Like,
the goal is obviously, like, when I was talking to I had a manager who was helping me. He was like, yo, like, right now making books is a struggle to, like, you're kind of struggling to make money just off your books. But once you have a TV show, let's say you get onto Netflix, let's say like The Walking Dead, he's like, you know how many more books Kirkman sells because he has a TV show?
100%.
Exponentially grow. So I was like, yeah, that's where I want to be. I want to be on Netflix. That's where I know once I get there, I don't have to keep putting so much work into social media, and I can just focus on my book, because people watch it and be like, yo, this is sick. I want to get the book. And then,
Same deal here. As whether it's a TV show or animation or live action, whatever the case may be. Once you land that, which is obviously the goal here as well.
yeah.
Once you land that, it kind of just trickles down into everything else.
Once you have that, like the third volume, you should be ready.
Once I have the third volume, I will be ready. Especially if I have the third volume and I'm ready, and if things start to happen, there's still like some time before it actually happens, right? So the fourth book will probably be out, especially if the assistants are. I'm loving the assistants so far. I think all of them are great. Oh yeah, I got them already. Like I need them. I need them. I need them. So if I can get more books out, the last thing you want to do is get the say I'm lucky enough and we get an anime. Saturday gets an anime, and then the content, the original material, is finished. Then they do like an FMA thing. No, you want to make sure. No, you want to make sure. Like you want to make sure that you're putting out content consistently. Even the boys. You see the boys?
Yeah, love it.
Love the boys. Yeah. So
his private parts wrapped around it.
Yeah, I saw that. I think. You know what? Immediately, because I didn't read the comics, right? But immediately I saw it, because initially, when you're looking at the surveillance footage, you will see kind of like a tentacle thing when the whole chaos. Immediately I saw it. I knew what it was. I knew because they had shown the guy much earlier, right? Just chilling, right? So when I saw it again, it wasn't like multiple tentacles. It was just one. I was like, oh no.
It's the boy.
Yeah, I was like, no. And I knew it was the boys. So they're definitely going to do it. So
I know.
Yeah. It's a good show.
I love it.
They're thinking of doing like a spin-off where it's kind of like in the boys universe, but kind of like how almost like basically like a My Hero Academia, but in the boys universe. So it's basically all these college kids that they all got powers. Yeah. They're probably gonna do all that kind of crazy stuff, and it'll be more juvenile because there's kids. There's like, the typical college type party, but everybody got powers doing crazy stuff, and I'll see what they do. But I enjoy the boys.
They push it and make you go, oh, they said that. Yo,
exactly. What other what TV shows would you say are like big? What TV shows would you say are inspirations for you, if any?
This first one, pretty much Narcos. Like he's as a kid. That's what he was supposed to. I watched Narcos like 3 times. Breaking Bad, love Breaking Bad. I like Better Call Saul. I just like that he connects his villains. He connects this world. You kind of like humanize the villains, and I like that. Where you're like, oh no, don't hurt him, even though
Vince Gilligan and stuff. Yeah, I think I'm like a season. No, I'm multiple seasons behind on Better Call Saul. I've seen all of Breaking Bad. That was too good to miss. Like I saw it during. Like I was waiting week after week, and then I've seen all of Narcos except the latest.
I haven't seen Mexico. I was like, Pablo Escobar's dead. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, honestly, it does feel like that because once Pablo was gone, I was like, and spoiler alert for people who are watching, our bad. Just we'll put it. You should have seen it. This is your fault. It's your fault. But just in case. And once he left, I was like, wait, so that's the end of the show? And once it continued, I mean, Mexico's not bad. It's just, Pablo was
so good. The fact that you're like, I don't want you to get caught. I know you can do things, but
I think I didn't want him to get caught because I knew the show would end if he got caught, and then he got caught. So it's like, it is what it is. So Narcos was good. What?
Ozark. It's kind of like Breaking Bad, but money laundering.
Ozarks. I saw I saw season 1.
It's
Isn't it canceled?
no, it was on like 3rd or 4th season or something like that.
Something is canceled. Are you sure? Let me see. Ozarks.
A lot of things are getting canceled nowadays, my guy.
Ozarks. I heard something along those lines, but I'll check it out. I know I've seen season 1. I've seen season 1. I liked it. I see like the other usual suspects, kind of like Game of Thrones, season 1 of Westworld specifically, right? The other seasons are okay, but season 1 was really good.
I stopped Game of Thrones after like season 4. So I was like, it's too much now. My senses are getting overloaded. It's too many.
Dude, if it's about getting overloaded, I'm like 5 years behind One Piece. I don't even know where to. It's too much. It's too much.
It's fantastic. I understand. You guys tell me it's a great show.
Yeah,
stuff to do, man. I gotta write my own stuff.
Exactly. Like there are a lot of series. There are a lot of series that people will probably expect me to have seen, but like I just don't have the time to see them because people are busy. So now we're kind of winding out. We've gone an hour in. I think I've been enjoying the chat. How about you, man?
It was okay. Just kidding.
Yeah. You see, I can't trust you now. You know what I mean? Well, you say you're almost done with the second book, right? What's the page count going to be overall?
It's 222.
222. How many you have like 100 done?
I have 160 something done.
Okay, I can look for it.
The last chapter it starts at like page 175 and it goes all the way to 22. It's just a boss fight, like, and it's just I referenced it off a street in Toronto, so I have like pictures of it. I'm just it's like kidding. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun. Okay. I can't wait to finish. It'll be done maybe March. Like, I just need to dial in. Like, I work 5 days a week, and if on weekends, if my girlfriend's busy, I'll sneak in some extra hours. It's a lot of work. Like that's the most difficult thing. If you're interested in being a comic artist, it's like you don't realize you're gonna have to give up a lot of free time because if you really want it to work, if it's a passion, you're gonna have to start just work.
Especially when you draw this comics and you put all the effort into it. You notice, like, if you actually watch somebody reading the comics, the art is, if the art's really good, and in your case it is, right? If the art's really good, they would spend a little more time looking at it and just kind of
that 3 seconds. They've spent like an extra 3 seconds.
Exactly. After like, this is really just a few more seconds and flip. You know what I mean? And you spent hours on that thing.
I had my buddy read like what I have, like 150 pages. That's taken me since like January or December of last year, and he finished it in like 40 minutes. I was like, all that, where I am now.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I'm like more open to just the story. Like, the art needs to be really good still, right? It needs to keep them engaged, but the story is the key thing, right? And you need to because they consume it so quickly, then you kind of have to dish it out more consistently. That's why I think I'm more open to the whole assistant thing. And all the pros have assistants, even like the Marvels, the DC, all of them have like, they work in teams. Somebody's doing the coloring, somebody's doing this, somebody's doing that. So
maybe one day I'll like get your mindset, but for now,
I feel you.
I have one. I just like once then I'll maybe start thinking about assistant. But for now, I'm happy. I've come out with a book. Like, this one took 2 years. This next book is going to come out. It's took a year and a bit. I'll try to speed it up, but I'm not.
100%, man. No, I'm not even pushing you to change. But I'm just kind of like, what?
Stop trying to get me some assistance.
Nah. I'm not trying to push you to change. If you're like, I was the same way, so I get it. It's just we're different. You know what I mean? So you can do 100% whatever you want because the artwork is stellar, anyways. Obviously, the end goal, like I said, a TV show or an animation or something like that. Have they had a video game? Yeah, a lot more merch. Is there like stuff you want to share with the audience? Maybe like what you've done so far? It's like because I saw like a toy thing one time on your IG.
I have the Billy action figure with a level 52 studios.
Yeah.
Studio 52.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, there's I think pre-orders are finished, but they're still selling it on some sites.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Well, it was I contacted them for my Kickstarter. I was like, yo, I want to do this dude first. I want to do Hamid. This guy, I had a friend make a 3D sculpt of it, and then like, all right, we can do it. $20,000. I was like, I'll see you later. So
we'll talk again. I'll have my people call your people.
Last December, and they said, yo, you grew. So I was like, hell yeah. So let's make something a little more extravagant. So I spent a while creating the statue, and then they basically taught me how to build a proper statue without like snapping it off. So like my character is like hanging on the.
Yeah, I saw.
They're like, it's gonna snap, so we have to figure out how to work it out. I was like, it was a fun process. I can't wait to get it. Like it's been a year, and I'm like, get it yet? Can you get it? I want to have one.
We're kind of closing now, so we kind of have like a rapid fire type deal. Just asking a couple basic questions thrown at you. What is what kind of, do you listen to music a lot? Yes, you do. What are you listening to right now? Who's like your favorite? Got a favorite rapper of all time? Most rap people have a favorite rapper of all time. It's kind of a thing. But who do you listen to right now?
This is, if you want to know how I got into style from like art.
Yeah.
I started to listen to hip hop instrumental back in 2009, 2007, when I was like or something. I found this guy named Nujabes.
Yeah, I think Samurai Champloo.
So I found Nujabes first, and someone in the comments was like, "Yo, who's watching Samurai Champloo and listening to this right now?" I was like, Champloo. And this is before I even had an art style. So then I was like, all right, if there's an anime with Nujabes in it, I'm going to give it a go. I watched Samurai Champloo, and I watched that show 9 times, something like that. My main character based off Mugen. Like my whole persona was, I want to be like Mugen. Like
he's a cool rebel.
The whole name Kings of Nowhere came from one line Mugen says in the anime. He said, I don't want to be ruled, and I don't want to rule no one. And I was like, that's so sick. Kings of Nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love Nujabes. And then he's like the father of lo-fi music. Freddie Joaquin, he's on YouTube, makes sick beats. This is interesting. These guys, like, they're not like huge names, but
I know. I like some of that. I like listening to that too sometimes.
I don't listen to rap too often. Like if I listen to rap, I like Biggie. I like old stuff. But if it's the newer stuff,
it's hit or miss sometimes. I agree.
I agree. There's really talented. Like there's Amine. I like these guys. I just don't want to think. I want to just have beats playing to drop.
Yeah, sometimes I do the same. Not always lo-fi, but I do listen to instrumentals as well. What about? I know you're obviously, working on your content, but what about video games?
Right now, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Super Smash Bros. Like sometimes I'm not gonna lie, right? I've not played it, so I can't say, but it has so much hype behind it. If I ever play it, it better be good with all this hype. Right? So I haven't played it.
You've never played it? Switch?
No, I've never played it on anything.
Damn. Yeah,
Go ahead.
Games are like fighting games are like the bread and butter. Like it's my favorite genre. Like you can just play like 1 or 2 matches and be done because I got stuff to do, right? So I don't want to
exactly. I can't play games like I can, but I don't want to play complicated games anymore. Like Ghost of what?
Ghost of. I don't even know.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to.
It's so big. You're gonna have to put like 40 hours into it. I'm like, I can't.
I don't. I play
into a match, get my ass whooped. I'm good.
I play like the Naruto games, sports games like FIFA, like stuff you don't have to think too much about.
You don't have to put much time into it.
Yeah, you don't have to think too much about. Maybe like a Devil May Cry is just a hack and slash type thing. I play games like that now. Like anytime it's a complicated game, like that means I have free time, which I do not have. So I do not play those. Just like you just play something, you can just go online, play a couple of them, and then just dip.
Exactly.
If you have stuff to do, 100%. What about TV shows right now? Any new stuff that you're consuming? I said The Boys. The Boys is
sick. We watched The Boys. Right now, I like The Great Pretender. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
What else?
Great Pretender. I've never heard that one.
It's a sick anime. It's a crime anime. It's about.
Oh, it's anime. Okay.
It's anime. Yeah. I like Beastars, Dorohedoro.
I want to try that.
Did you watch Beastars?
No, I want to try. Like, I want to try all the animal stuff. It makes sense. Like, it's all connected. For you, 100% makes sense. But like, I've always wanted to check those out.
When I see furry art, I kind of get a little. Yeah. I just like it, like Bloody Roar, where their faces are like animalistic. They look like they're about to kill. Whereas you have like furry personas, and they're kind of like.
Yeah, you only like the bloody stuff. You might need therapy, son. You might need therapy, bro.
That's why I like it. Beastars has like hierarchy between carnivores and herbivores. Yeah. Like it goes really deep. I'm like, I like this. They're not just.
I'll give that a go.
I don't know if Studio Trigger came out with BNA. Kind of like people are like, it's like things of nowhere. I'm like, I hated it. I would have paid you guys to not make this because it just wasn't good. I can't.
It was similar to what you had.
It's just like there's a society where people turn into animals and they live in this like separate society, but apparently there's like racism to them. But like, you guys live in like a utopia. What racism are you talking about? Because like you don't even live with the humans. It's just like I don't like it. There's plot that just doesn't work, and then like you can tell who the main villain is by like the third episode, and you're like, I know what your plans are. I know. Just get to it already. Like there's
what's it called again? BNA.
BNA, like DNA with a B.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
I need something that really makes me think. That's why for me, like my top animes would be like Cowboy Bebop. This is like there's sadness at the end of them because you're not going to reach what you want, and you're supposed to be. You have no choice but to be content with the fact that you're not going to get what you want. And like, I like that. And then I like Full Metal Alchemist. I love it.
That was good. Brotherhood, especially. That was good.
I love where it's like he gets his arm blown off, and he's like, "Oh, it's just a flesh wound, bro." Like, those are dope. It's always funny how anime characters can just like diagnose themselves. It's like it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, it's a flesh wound. Oh, my arteries are da 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 da. Oh, the heart does this. It beats forth. And I was like, all right, dude, you went to med school. It's like, all right, relax. Or there's some things where if you're watching One Piece, right? I know you don't watch it, but like there's some scenes where a character would be like miles away. Like I'm talking almost a different building complex, and they'll be talking normally with you're not yelling, just talking normally, and everybody's just you can hear. And I'm just like, I'm just like, what? How is he hearing him? Right? You guys are on two different ships and no microphone. Okay. It's like a bunch of sea in between y'all. Like what? But I always think that stuff's funny. It's not a big deal.
All they actually hear is they're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, they didn't actually hear it, right? That's probably what's happening.
For instance, the whole idea of turning into a beastie is it's like I was an immigrant to this country too. Like didn't speak English, felt out of place. When I was like grade 2, I didn't speak English very well. I watch a lot of Discovery Channel.
Couldn't tell.
You know, right? I watch a lot of Discovery Channel, I liked animals a lot, like just watching animals hunt, learning about their way of like hierarchy and all that.
Yeah.
So I started getting into fights as a kid, and my natural reaction was to snarl, bite, scrap. I would run on 4 feet. I would there was a bush next, like there was a little patch of forest, small foresty patch by our school, and I would just hang out there, like, and I'd walk on 4 feet, and I wouldn't speak to anyone for a while, and then kids would come and be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I'm like, I'm a black wolf, and they're like, yeah. When I made Beasties, it was kind of like this feeling like an outsider because you're wild, but still a human. It's like you can't even like my characters. They're apes, they're primates, and all that, but they're still human. Like outside looks different doesn't mean you should treat them any different. You shouldn't treat them subpar. But the book has like, in the book there'll be like signs, no beasties. Like you're a beastie, you're out of. The whole story is about a boy trying to get the acceptance from his father, but his father just doesn't want to give it to him because he just sees the exterior. And he's like, I don't trust you anymore. Like you're not my son, basically.
Yeah. And it's not, since you touched on that, right? It would be actually nice for if you could, before you give your advice now, like just give try to give like a short synopsis, maybe one paragraph if you can, of what Kings of Nowhere is actually about.
Kings of Nowhere. Oh man, just like looking in the mirror, talking about this.
Yeah.
So Kings of Nowhere is about, it's a world where kids who've gone through a traumatic, like part of their life, like some sort of trauma, they turn into a beastie, and it's only kids. But unlike other like worlds where you can like shapeshift back into being a human, you stay as whatever animal you are. You get their senses, you get their abilities, and all that. But they're trying to make the best. They're trying to like be part of society. Whereas thousands of years ago, when people turned into beasties, they were revered as gods, like Anubis, Ganesha, Wukong. These guys were looked at as gods, but they did something in their past that abused their power, and humans have lost trust in them for millennia to come. And when Kings of Nowhere 1 takes place in like the 1990s around, humans and beasties are kind of coming back together in society, but they're still seen as second-class citizens. But I don't want to give away so much of the story because the story is about it's very mythical. There's a lot of magic and I
just want people to get a vibe of it, and that's it. You know what I mean?
It's heavily inspired by One Piece, by Samurai Champloo, Full Metal Alchemist, and the story follows the main character Base, who is a full-grown, he's like a monkey human, and he sees this boy named Dante, a white-haired boy, who is going the same path that he went through. And he doesn't want him to make the same mistakes he made. So he takes him under his wing, and together they start to basically just connect with the villains. Like this villain, you see these three as kids. You'll see them again later on, much, much older.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a while. And the story is about how these two characters connect. And it's going to take like 3-4 volumes before you finally see what it is that brings these puzzle pieces together. Action, adventure, comedy, as much as they can.
Comedy, yeah. How many volumes do you see it running for?
I've written about 8 so far, and it's like 8 for when they meet up. So
okay. So it might be like 10, 16.
16, maybe 20.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be cool by the time I finish it. Yeah.
I think for me, I think like once it gets to like 30, the story is about to end. Advice for you 10 years ago.
10 years ago? Okay.
Yeah.
Easy. I always think of like, if I was like, I went back to my 9-year-old self, what would I take with me? I take my iPad and all my saved. My book, quick and easy. Yeah. But advice, all right. So I would say you need to make a goal for yourself. You need to know where you want to be, and you need to utilize. Like I took a while to utilize Instagram, to utilize YouTube, and all that stuff. because I kind of had a fear of like, I'm not, it's not, I can't, I won't be able to use it. I'm not good enough. I won't be able to do it. But you gotta like overcome that fear of like not you thinking that you won't be able to succeed off of it. So utilize what you can. You're gonna have to give up like time hanging out, all that stuff. If you want to see success, you gotta start to really put in time to what you want to achieve. Yeah, like to be honest, like not to sound like an arrogant asshole, but like I feel like I took the right steps. Like when it came to me, like I knew what to study, I knew how to study, I knew like it just kind of came naturally. Like, oh, I want an anime. What do I do to an anime? Oh, I need a manga because that's what people do. I made manga, and then I was like, okay, I quit my job. What do I do now? Oh, I'll make a Instagram and grow that way so people see me. And it's like,
it's smart.
I would say it was lucky, man. Honestly,
everybody needs luck. Like to me, I'm sure there's somebody on the internet right now who is super talented, but they're not really getting what they want out of it just yet.
Yeah.
But you got to prepare yourself for when the luck comes. So if kind of like the KSC thing. Now KSC he's already popular, right? But let's say he was just on IG, right? He just needed that luck to just come. And so now if anybody comes to that page, they see all the other stuff. Like how could you not follow? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So prepare yourself for when the luck comes. So 100% get that.
Kind of throw yourself in luck's way if you can.
Yeah. And also when you were mentioning like the inspiration for Kings of Noah, you mentioned One Piece. I thought you don't watch One Piece. Have you seen any One Piece?
Yeah, I watched One Piece. I read like 250 chapters, maybe 300 chapters.
And then you were like, I'm out. and you were like, peace, I'm done now.
Yeah. Well, like there's people who've read the book know what I'm talking about. There's a very big One Piece element in my book. It was kind of I can't say. Just I had a.
I'll get it. I'll get the info later. It's cool.
Yeah. I had fun when I was young.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. All right.
So apart from that, hopefully
you have me talking too long.
What you say?
I'm going to end up having myself canceled if I talk for too long.
Nah. It's like it's time to stop you. It's not Roosh, keep quiet. So it's like that's it. Hopefully everybody watching, you guys stayed. Do you have any like quick things you want to throw in there? If they're like some really frequently asked questions that you get a lot that maybe you didn't answer in here.
What brush do you use, bro? So
yeah.
Brushes I have are for Procreate only, and they're on my Patreon. So you want to hit up my Patreon, Koteriink. That's all. I have literally just go on Patreon, talk to me on Discord. We have a good time.
Guys, sad DM?
Yeah. So when I finished college, I got a 9 to 5 working at a studio in Toronto with Janice. And we were doing concept art, that stuff. And after work, however long that took, we'd finish at like 7 p.m. I'd come home and I start doing storyboards. And I was getting burnt out. And then we went to LA for an expo. And I saw this dude there. He's not that great of a comic artist. Like he was like probably low level.
Yeah.
And we had some old dude, like some Steven Spielberg guy, like, yeah, I just got him a Netflix deal. I was like, what? On the plane ride home, I was like, yo, Janice, that dude got a Netflix deal. And he had like 3 volumes of whatever it was.
Yeah.
So we come back the first week. It was so hard because our boss was our best friend. Like he was the funniest dude. He was just like, it's legal in Canada to smoke weed. So for those people who don't, but he would like literally have his weed like on our table, rolling it while he's telling us what to do. And I was like, it was so cool. It's hard to say goodbye to him. Like, but actually I was like, I feel guilty for not being able to do your stuff. Same with Janice. She's like, I have so much dreams. I want to do so many things. And we're like, okay, we got to quit. And like within the first day or two, we got back from LA. We quit that 9 to 5 and started our Instagram game.
100%. Like I 100% get that. Like when you're not making your work, like there was this guilt, this like all just following you've not drawn anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just a good fix. It's good for me mentally too, and just to be able to sit down and create stuff. Sometimes I'm not even drawing. I'm just like thinking of the ideas and like where I want to go with the series and coming up with like what I feel are really good ideas and just writing it down. There is a fun and a joy and a therapeutic thing I get from it too.
I know. Did you have a 9 to 5?
What?
Did you ever have a 9 to 5 before Apple Black took off?
No. Yeah, never. Nah, screw that. The closest I came was doing like teaching a course at a university, right? And there it's kind of lax. I was teaching one class. Like I did a TA thing teaching at a university, right? So I was in school while also teaching like some of the art classes. And then what I'm doing right now, which is just one class. Like, in fact, I haven't taught a class in a while, in a year and a half. But for this fall, I taught a manga class at a university in Texas that I don't think has ever existed at the school. So that part is kind of cool for me.
That's pretty great.
And so just stuff like that. And it's pretty chill. Like the class is like maybe twice a week. The only thing is the pandemic made it a little weird because everything had to be online.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, just a 9 to 5, no. I've kind of hustled off the internet and I've gotten lucky here and there, right? With Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of that, right? Some of them are tougher to crack than others, but we're still in the game, and I've just kind of been lucky in that regard. I've never actually had to wake up at 9 o'clock to go somewhere and come back at 5.
Yeah, I would never. That was the thing. I would never get to work at 9 o'clock. Like 10:30 maybe, because I was like, I'm not that kind of guy. Like I would argue with my boss on everything. I was such a crappy employee. It's like, I see how I feel. You gotta do this.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
So
I had another 9 to 5 in art for textbooks for like high school books using Microsoft Paint because I didn't know what Photoshop was yet. So I use a mouse and do that. And then I became a t-shirt spray painter at an amusement park and a caricature artist. And then it was concept artist.
Yeah, I did a few commissions here and there for something like that, but
yeah, you're lucky. You just went straight to the big art.
Because I started early. Immediately I heard, oh, you could earn money from YouTube. And then it was just like, all right, what can I do? Right, I already know what I want to do. How can I do it in such a way where I can start earning? And obviously it's trash money in the beginning. It's trash videos in the beginning. It's trash everything in the beginning. But I just kept growing. There was a time I lost my channel, so I had to actually start from scratch. That's all I got from now. I know you're trying to do your YouTube thing. You want to plug your YouTube as well? Plug where people can find you?
Koteriink everywhere. Koteriink.com, Koteriink Instagram, Koteriink on YouTube and Patreon.
And Koteriink on OnlyFans. Okay, so...
Or I make the big moolah.
Thanks for watching, guys. This has been a fun chat. It's Saturday AM on the Saturday AM channel. I'm Whyt Manga. You can find everything you could possibly need in the description below. And that's it.
Thank you, guys.
Whyt Manga.
Whyt Manga.
Koteri College. Koteri himself. Roosh is out.
Yeah. Odunze,
yeah.
All right, man. Have a good one. That was fun. I'll talk to you later, man. Peace.
Yeah, we'll probably like chat on the WhatsApp and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Peace. You can check out all of our magazines Saturday AM for the Shonen series, Saturday PM for the Seinen series, and Saturday Brunch for the Josei series. All in our app. The latest issues of all the magazines are free. Also publishes my manga Apple Black. Links to everything you could possibly need will be in the description below. If you're new to what we do, you can read the starter guide inside the app. It has everything you need to know, including character profiles of our core series. The list goes on. Please check it out. Please subscribe. Please check out the other videos in the playlist. This is Whyt Manga, and I'm Audi 9000.